something big might be brewing at Red Bull, and it could completely shake up their driver lineup. After just 10 races into the season, all eyes are suddenly on Isack Hadjar. Why? Because his results have caught everyone off guard, especially those watching from inside the paddock. Hadjar's recent run has sparked conversations, and now there's serious talk about him possibly stepping into Yuki Tsunoda's shoes, especially now, with Ali Behrman's chances of stepping into Formula One growing by the day. This discussion has become even more intense. Now, let's get straight to the point. Could Hadjar be moved up to the main Red Bull team after just 10 races? More importantly, is that even a smart call, considering how unpredictable the second Red Bull car has been lately? This seat next to Max Verstappen has become something of a puzzle. No matter who gets behind the wheel, things don't seem to click. Either Verstappen is performing at a level others can't reach, or something strange is going on with that second car. But Red Bull isn't slowing down in their search. After trying out names like Lawson and Tsunoda, the focus now seems to be on Hadjar. The French driver is having a solid year. In fact, apart from Verstappen, no other Red Bull-linked driver has outperformed him in the current season. He's managed to rack up twice the points that Tsunoda has so far in 2025, sure. His run hit a bump in Montreal where he ended up in 16th place. Not an ideal finish, but don't let that single race fool you. It didn't do much to lower Red Bull's interest in him, especially with Tsunoda being out of contract by the season's end. Hadjar's name keeps coming up more and more. Isack Hadjar didn't hide his excitement about being linked with a team like Red Bull. His recent comments give us a clear picture of how much this opportunity means to him. He admitted he might not feel completely ready just yet, but if given the chance, he'd grab it with both hands. His reasoning? He's a fighter. He wants to challenge himself, and competing against the best is what motivates him. Speaking about Max Verstappen, Hadjar explained that having him as a teammate would be incredibly valuable. He said Max is calm and respectful, and as long as things remain fair on the track, they get along just fine. But this possible switch isn't just about whether Hadjar is ready. It also brings up questions about Racing Bulls, the team where Hadjar is currently developing his craft. Their CEO, Peter Bayer, didn't hold back when asked about Red Bull's interest. He clearly stated that he'd prefer if Red Bull didn't pull Hadjar away so early. In his view, Hadjar should stay until at least the end of 2026. His reasoning makes sense. The French driver is still learning, improving, and proving himself. Losing him too soon could disrupt that process. In fact, Bayer jokingly said they might need to handcuff Hadjar to keep him in the team. What Bayer said also hints at a deeper issue. Just because someone shines at Racing Bulls doesn't mean they'll fit into Red Bull's top team. That transition has proven to be challenging for many drivers. Let's not forget, Tsunoda played a major role in carrying the team forward after the Gasly era. Despite being paired with experienced names like Daniel Ricciardo, Tsunoda has held his ground for the most part. The only real challenge to his position came from Liam Lawson, and that competition was short-lived. If Hadjar does get promoted, will he succeed where others have struggled? That's the big question. There's one more thing to consider. If Hadjar takes that second Red Bull seat, it's not just a chance for him to shine, but also a huge risk. History shows that the RB21 isn't an easy car to handle, especially for anyone who isn't Max Verstappen. Drivers like Albon and Gasly saw their confidence crushed while trying to keep up. Even talented racers have found themselves lost in that car's unpredictable behavior. So for Hadjar, the move could be career-defining in either direction. Peter Bayer's remarks highlight this concern. He made it clear that pushing Hadjar into the spotlight too early could do more harm than good. He stressed the importance of giving young talent proper time to grow within a team structure. And although Red Bull might be tempted to speed things up, Bayer wants them to think carefully before taking that route. His words weren't just protective, they also hinted at frustration. Racing Bulls is building something solid, and they don't want their efforts undone just as they begin to pay off. This leads to another tricky point. Red Bull needs to plan ahead. Not just for this season or the next, but for life after Verstappen. Even though the Dutch driver hasn't activated any exit clauses, the whispers about Mercedes and Aston Martin haven't gone away. There's no solid proof that Verstappen will leave, but Red Bull can't ignore the possibility. And if he does, they'll need a strong backup plan quickly. In such a scenario, would someone like Hadjar be able to carry that responsibility? Or will Red Bull need to search for someone new entirely? One thing's clear, the team is actively thinking about all these angles behind the scenes. Behind closed doors, discussions have already taken place. Christian Horner and George Russell have reportedly talked about a possible collaboration, not something you'd expect under normal circumstances. But if Verstappen were to walk away, Red Bull would have to act fast. That's why they're keeping their options open. A future without Max isn't just an idea anymore. It's a possibility that the team is quietly preparing for. And if that future does come, Red Bull might consider giving a bigger role to someone already in their system. Think of how they brought Max into the main team back in 2016. Something similar could happen again. Dr. Helmet, Marco has his eyes on Hadjar, calling him a rising star who's been a standout performer this season. But he also mentioned another name in the mix, Arvid Lindblad. According to Marco, Lindblad is only 17, but he's already shown qualities that remind many of champions. He's quick, sharp, and incredibly focused, ticking boxes that Red Bull usually looks for. In Marco's words, they're not out to find another Max. What they need is someone who can become their next title contender. That could very well be Lindblad if he continues to grow the way he has. Lindblad has already earned his super license and has been running strong in Formula 2, even if a main seat doesn't open up immediately. Circumstances could change quickly, especially if Hadjar moves up sooner than expected, and that's exactly what Marco hinted at. If there's a shift mid-season, or by 2026, Lindblad could be the next one to fill the space. At this point, everything seems to depend on what happens in the next few months, and whether Red Bull chooses to pull the trigger early. That with so many names in play, and so many possible outcomes, one thing is certain, the pressure is rising. Yuki Tsunoda, despite his efforts, is now in a difficult position. He's been with the team since its AlphaTauri days, nearly 5 years now, and yet he's still not been able to fully secure his place in Red Bull's long-term plans. His dream of moving up from Racing Bulls may slowly be slipping away. Christian Horner was clear on this. There's no sense in being stuck in a development role forever. Tsunoda has had his chances, but with no consistent results and growing competition around him, the door may be closing. If Red Bull does bring in Hadjar mid-season or in 2026, it could signal the end of Tsunoda's shot at the top. As for Hadjar, even if the promotion happens, it won't be easy. The RB21 has made skilled drivers look lost. But if he does get that seat, it will come with something valuable, a chance to learn from the best, race under pressure, and prove if he truly belongs at the front. It's a high-risk, high-reward situation. One wrong move, and it could set his career back years. One good run, and he could become the future Red Bull needs. Meanwhile, Lindblad's story is still being written. Though he's not expected to jump straight into Formula 1 yet, the team clearly sees something special in him. His time will come, but for now, all eyes are on how Red Bull manages the immediate road ahead. So, what do you think? Will Hadjar find himself in that second Red Bull seat? Could Lindblad step into Racing Bulls? And has Tsunoda already run out of time? The next few months may just give us all the answers.